Do you think a woman is justified in being upset at her husband for not taking out the trash when she asks? This was the topic of my last video, and it ruffled some feathers when I agreed that her expecting him to take out the trash immediately without saying that is comparable to her not being intimate with him every time he thinks of it. Some of you do not think that this is a fair comparison, but it's really just an example from the male side to relate to the female side to say that you can't control people. But I think what a lot of men would agree with is that in today's age, it is way more acceptable for a wife to be controlling over her husband versus a husband be controlling over his wife. I mean, how often do you hear about a husband leaving a to-do list for a wife to complete before she can leave the house? How often do you hear about a man complaining that his wife decided to mop the floors instead of power washing the house or cleaning out the garage before they had company? But if you still don't get that point and you still want to argue that it's not a fair comparison, because you as the woman, you're not dictating when to take the trash out. It's just that the trash is full. So that's when you need to take it out. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. You could potentially smush the trash down a little bit. You could stop throwing stuff away right in that moment. However, the fact that those don't register as options indicates that you do want it done on your timeline. And that is all about control.
Well, that's a very good question, and my answer is no. Women shouldn't be controlling. The fact of the matter is that if you're a man and you married a woman who is basically your boss, you don't deserve to be happy in that relationship, because basically you're giving her all the control while you are busy pandering to all her whims and all her needs. And for the ladies out there, you really need to understand that men are the head of the family. Men are the head of the relationship. You shouldn't really be controlling him and expecting him to do every single thing you said. Men, man up. It's time for us to man up. And ladies, please respect your husband. He's probably gone through a lot at work. He doesn't need to come home and be told what to do. That makes no sense.
If you're a straight man at the airport, I want to see you in pants with some structural integrity. I don't want to see you in your comfies. That's not for you.
This is one of my most difficult questions so far. I usually lean much more towards fashion than comfort. You should look like this as often as possible, and this for when you're alone, really. But we are talking about airplanes. Pants can change a lot in this environment. Basically, you're balancing how bad your body feels and how bad it is to look at you, and there's gotta be some kind of formula that results in people being pretty enough and feeling good enough that we're maximizing how nice life is. First of all, if she wasn't talking about the airport, she would have a point. People just look bad now. Look at how this color does not go with her skin tone. Look at this guy. He's clearly a normal adult, but it doesn't feel like you should trust him with anything important, does it? Look how nothing goes together. The people look like an overturned tub of Legos. I don't know what the hell is happening here. This guy would look nice if he didn't have the backpack. If you can manage to dress well, people will respect you more. Do you see how this guy just looks like he knows what he's doing? Check this guy out. If this guy looked at you like this wearing a hoodie, he'd get arrested. That's why I'm including appearance in self-maximize. How do you look and sound? What do others think and feel about you? That's going to influence what you get from your environment, which is going to result in a different situation. Check this out. Crowds used to look so good that they were dressed the same as the guys in the parade. And we're not getting back to that anytime soon. I just don't know what's going on here. But you can and should look good. Maybe more like this for every day. If people like how you look, then they will give more good things to you, and then your life will be better. A lot of you are getting ignored because of the way you're dressed and then not learning your lesson.
I didn't sign up to leave the house and see you wearing joggers with a hole in it. Please put on your jeans, khakis, J. Crew chinos. They're always on sale at the factory outlet. Why do you need to be comfy?
Well, it's because this is a life or death situation for some of us. There's not a lot of room here. So generally, I would agree. You should not make people look at this. But airplanes are a special case. This variable gets big. Maybe we should make airplane pants like how women have jeggings. Yeah, this is what I got for airplane pants. So definitely room here to make some money if anyone knows a designer.
You guys want to wear the pants in society? So wear the pants everywhere.
Well, she has a point. There's no denying that women, if we claim to be men, we need to dress like men who deserve respect. I mean, don't you think it's a little odd and funny if you are a full-grown man and are dressing like a teenager? I mean, look at those guys. They all look like they're hippies, but for the wrong reason. They all look like they're vegans who don't actually eat any vegetables. For a man, respect is almost everything. So you need to dress like someone worth respecting. Why don't you go out, buy a suit or something. Just don't ever take your comfort over how you look, because it's not necessary to be comfortable everywhere you go. So please, men, dress well. Start dressing like real men. It will do yourself a whole lot of good.
You think men prefer a natural body or a BBL body?
BBL body.
For real?
Yes. People that say natural are cap because most of them want a natural girlfriend, this and that, but you'll be following the Insta models that have their whole body done.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to be one of those majority who actually preferred women with a BBL body, but now that I've grown and I understand the truth, I prefer women with a natural body. The reason is that you are perfect the way you are. I know you don't want to believe that, but ladies, the way you are is fine. If it wasn't fine, I'm pretty sure God would have actually given you a BBL body from the start. Lord forgive us. And I don't really blame her for actually saying that people prefer BBL body. Nowadays, everyone is fake. It's not only the Instagram models and the OnlyFans models who are fake. Almost everyone is fake. You go on Instagram and you see a lot of all these BBL models posting and posing all their inappropriate pictures online. And yet, if you go down, you will see a whole lot of simps saying, wow, beautiful, commenting on their post, liking their pictures. It's actually disgusting and disturbing, if you ask me. So men, if you call yourself a real man, why don't you go after real women who aren't fake?
What's the difference between a romantic relationship versus friends with benefits?
Romantic relationship is that you go out on dates, you take care of each other, you buy each other presents, you go on romantic holidays. Friends with benefits is just fucking.
A romantic relationship would mean that you both consented to being in an exclusive partnership, and friends with benefits would mean that you are hopefully having a consensual relationship where you are only exchanging sexual favors and also being friends.
Well, if I have to choose, I would have to go with romantic relationships, because that way it's easier and better that way, instead of just casually meeting up, banging and going our separate ways. Because sex is meant for people who are in love. I know some of you might disagree, but that's just the truth. If you're going to be involved with somebody, make sure it's someone you love, and don't try this whole friends with benefits thing. It's just wrong and disgusting.
Who comes first, me, your mom, or a future daughter?
Right off the bat, I'm crossing off my mom, because as much as I love my mom, I love my mother a lot. That's my dad's job to put her first. I'm supposed to be putting you or a future daughter first. But if we're looking at that, it's a pretty close. It's almost a tie. But I'm gonna have to put you first, and the reason being is because you're the car, I'm the driver, and they're supposed to be sitting in the back seats in that car. But there's no car if I'm not putting you first, so that does not work. So I need to put you first.
That's a good story.
That's how it has to be.
Oh.
Okay, if it were me, I would put my daughter first, my future daughter first. The reason being is that our children are our legacy, they're our future, and without our children, there is no tomorrow. So yeah, and obviously because children can't take care of themselves. And secondly, I'll have to go with my mother. I heard what he said when he said for his mom, his dad is supposed to take care of her. Yeah, and I agree with that, but unfortunately, I don't have a dad anymore. My mother will be second. My mother takes second priority, which leaves my future partner for the last. Unfortunately, that's how it has to be, because that's just the way I am, I guess. So priority number 1 is my daughter, number 2 my mother, and last but not least, my wife. Tell me what you guys' picks will be in the comment section below.
Bruh, that's a real cook? Yes. Yo, stop playing with me. What are you doing? Nah, bro. Bro, what the fuck? Chill, that's not even Oh, she hung up on me, bro. Bro, I don't mean to laugh, cuz. Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Bro, that's crazy. It's crazy. She not answering, cuz. Welcome to your wireless. Bro, no, it's not even.
You can see how distraught and shocked he is. He was actually expecting a decent call from his girlfriend, but unfortunately, as you can read the captions, his girl accidentally called him while she was busy banging on another dude. That's really messed up. I hope he makes it out alive, because if I were him and I experienced this kind of thing, I think I would be in therapy right about now. My fellow brothers out there, we need to stay awake, we need to keep our eyes open, and we need to learn how to avoid all these cheating women who don't value your love and your time. Stay safe out there.
And that is not how logic works. You can't just say that I'm willing to
tell me how logic works. Give me one rule of law of logic. Give me one law of logic. One.
It's based in fact and truth.
What? What? Can you give me a single law of logic?
Can you?
Yes, I can
Okay,
give you all
so
the
this
laws. The first is the law of non-contradiction. The second is the law of excluded middle. How many would you like? Would you like to get into informal logic as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you like to get into the law of identity? That's the third law. What else would you like?
That's semantics at this point.
No, that's literally the opposite of semantics. Do you know what semantics are? Because that's not semantics.
Okay.
God bless that man. I think his name is Andrew Wilson. He's here doing the work that needs to be done, even though he's on a show where they basically promote OnlyFans girls. Regardless, he's there putting all these ladies in their place. And I'm not saying that to be offensive or whatever. I'm just saying it as it is. You can see how she came up here and started speaking words she doesn't even know the meaning of. But at the end of the day, she doesn't know what logic is. She doesn't even know what the rule of or the laws of logic are. Andrew Wilson, you are really a man among men, and that is why we as human beings should not go out there and pretend and say whatever we don't know. I just feel bad for her parents. They wasted a lot of money, took her to school, fed her, raised her up, and at the end of the day, what does she do? She decides to go study and get a PhD in hoology, and by that I mean she came out of school and decided to do OnlyFans. It's really disappointing, and as you can see, it's obvious her parents wasted all that money because she doesn't know what logic actually is, and she started saying semantics. I won't be surprised if she doesn't know what semantics are or what they mean. Oh well, I hope you learned something today, guys. We've seen that you can't really trust anyone nowadays. Doesn't matter who you are or what kind of guy you are. Women, the one you choose, they are always capable of cheating. I'm just glad that guy caught it while he can, even though it was an accident. The earlier you know, the better it is for you. And as for women, you shouldn't try to control a man. Why would you ever want to try and control a man? Okay, I understand the trash needs to be taken out, but that doesn't mean it should be taken out that moment. That doesn't mean you should start acting like his mom. Oh well, I hope you learned something today. If you like the videos, make sure to watch some more other videos, and also feel free to support the channel using the links below. Oh well, I'm out. But before I go, remember, if she cheats on you,
she belongs to the streets.